Let's convert another rectangular question. So I have the rectangular equation x minus 4 squared plus y squared equals 16. And I want to convert this to a polar equation. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by using our formulas we know. X equals r cosine theta, and we know that y equals r sine theta. Then I'm going to take those and plug them into my equation. So I'm going to substitute this x for r cosine theta, plus, and I'm going to substitute this y for r sine theta. Once I've done this, we have to actually multiply this out. So r cosine theta minus 4, we actually have to physically distribute or FOIL it out. Because it is a binomial. For this r sine theta, it is not a binomial, it's a single term, so let's square it. R squared and sine squared. When we multiply this out, r cosine times r cosine is r cosine squared. R cosine times negative 4 and negative 4 times r cosine will give me two of those. So negative 8 r cosine thetas. And then negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. I'm going to try to simplify this as much as possible. So I'm going to take that 16 over to the other side. And I'm going to rewrite this a little bit. Oops, I forgot my r squared. I'm going to rewrite this a little bit. I'm going to move this r sine squared right next to the cosine squared. Remember, we always write elements or pieces with the highest exponent first. And then I have minus 8r cosine theta equals 16 minus 16 is 0. Almost there. I want to move this 8r cosine to the other side, so I'm going to add it to both sides. I also noticed that both these terms here have an r squared. So let's factor that r squared out. So if I pull the r squared from here, I'll be left with the cosine squared, a plus, and if we pull that r squared out, we're left with a sine squared. This should look a little familiar, cosine squared plus sine squared. That is one of our identities. More specifically, it's the Pythagorean identity. Cosine squared plus sine squared equals 1. Because cosine squared plus sine squared is just 1, we get r squared equals 8r cosine theta. I still want r by itself, so let's go ahead and move one of those r's over by dividing. And we have our final answer. R equals 8 cosine theta.